what brings happiness to some people are good patterns. Say, self-imagery, thought, mind, programming. What the individual considers good, but not what I would consider good particularly. Or what the neutral teaching is going to consider good. And what people suffer generally are what we would call relatively bad patterns of self-imagery, bad patterns of emotional experience and indulgence, bad, let's call them bad or dark memories, painful memories, bad, painful, so on. So are we really suffering that? Because sometimes our patterns are related to others, so we think we're suffering the person. So, oh, well, my girlfriend or my boyfriend. You're not suffering that, really. You're suffering your idea of it. You're suffering your interpretation of that. Your lower view of it is what you can suffer. Higher view, there's no way you suffer higher view. Higher view is a happy view, it's like humor. Mad, good, enlightening. So then this is really about view. Patterns are about view. Now patterns, if we're talking about causal patterns, programs, like thought patterns, belief patterns, these can be useful up to a point. Sometimes it's necessary to believe in Jesus. Sometimes you have to believe in something else, like doing the right thing and not putting the blame on your relationship to Jesus, which then it becomes your interpretation of whatever he said or did and how that applies to you and where you are in the process of becoming more like him or a saint or a guru or a master or a teacher or a guide and so on. Your interpretation of it. So view is very important. People have views of what the God is, and who the God is, or what it is as a force, or what it is as a presence, what it is as a greatness, what it is as the Lord and the controller, the dictator of the universe, what it is as the Almighty who knows what. Events show up and people blame it on a God or something outside of themselves when it's all about your view. So, to make a long story short, the Enlightenment traditions talk about the view of enlightenment, which is zero. Like people who are materialists, right, and accumulators. What was that? Zero? What can I do with zero? Right? Well, you could be happy with zero. What does zero mean then? What's the interpretation in the Dharma of zero? It means no suffering. It doesn't mean negative loss. It means loss of unhappiness. That's what it means. That's the equation. Selflessness, happiness. Selfishness, unhappiness. And selfishness shows up as a vicious cycle of wanting, grasping, desiring, accumulating. And it's always never enough, which is the funniest part. Right? $1 billion? Nah. 2 billion. How about 10 billion? Yeah, okay, I got 10 billion. Not enough. Because there's no quantity. There's no real quantity. It's your view. See, it's just the issue then that more, or in the mind, is better. And it's never better, let us say. See. One main reason why it's not better is because your mind is depending on the external for its happiness. It's a projection of value. And you're not turning inward to see what the source of all value is. See, what the heart of the universe is. And what your soul value might be. Which is the whole principle of having an awakening of true light. And being closer to that light than, let's say, self-values relative to the world. Enlightenment is the radical collapse of other and self into nothing. Right? The cancellation of both references, so there's nothing. No other, no thing, nothing. And what is the ancient word for that? That is misunderstood as spirit, the non-material. And we've materialized the concept of spiritual and spirituality as something like you can buy, you can accumulate. And then it's called the my spiritual, rather than just the spirit or the spiritual, which is indescribable, incomprehensible, and inaccessible to most people at their level of self-limitation. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the view and how important it is to have the right view. And so if you're talking about leaders in religion or philosophy, try and understand what the right view is through what they may say and imply or project that affects you in a positive way. But we want enlightenment. We want inner happiness. We don't just want to accumulate a whole bunch of garbage. And then when we lose anyway, we got to go see the head shrink because we lost a little bit of our garbage. There's no enlightenment there. It's delusion.